Welcome to r/Best of Redditor Updates, where OP discovers that her own mother dresses up in her clothes and roleplays as her daughter during sexy time. Our next Reddit post is from r/Relationship Advice. I'm an 18-year-old girl, and I walked in on my 45-year-old mom teasing my dad while wearing one of my dresses. I know, it sounds like something out of one of those really bad Netflix movies, but unfortunately, it's true. I was over at a friend's house for most of the day yesterday, and I wasn't supposed to be coming home until later that evening. This is super common for me right now. My friend has a pool and stuff, so I've been at her house a lot since school ended a few weeks ago. Mid-afternoon, we decided to go and just drive around. Then we wanted to go shopping. I didn't bring any money with me, so we decided to go by my house to grab some cash on the way to the mall. When we got there, my friend waited in the car because I was only going to be a couple of minutes. When I walked into my house, though, my parents were on the couch. I don't want to be too overly graphic about what was going on, but my mom was on my dad's lap teasing him, and it was very clear that they were about to do it. They both froze when they saw me, totally expected because they didn't plan on being interrupted at all. I was frozen too. Then, after a couple of seconds, I realized my mom was literally wearing one of my favorite dresses. Like, I wear it all the time. It's not even really revealing or anything, just a normal summer dress. We were all looking at each other in shock for a few seconds before my mom just said, "I'm so sorry, sweetie." I ran back out of the house, and I was crying by the time that I made it to my friend's car. I started explaining to my friend what I'd just seen, and my friend was calming me down. But then, my mother came out of the house after me literally wearing my dress. I told my friend to drive away before my mom got to the car, and we went back to my friend's house. We didn't give my friend's parents any details about what had happened, just that I had some family drama. I've been friends with this girl since way back, so they told me I could sleep at their house for a couple of days until I figure things out. I barely slept at all last night. Every time I close my eyes, it's like I see it in my head. My mom's called me a bunch of times, but I only texted her back to let her know where I am. And I told her that I need time before I'm ready to talk to them. She replied again, apologizing, and wants me to come home today to talk to them. I don't think that I can do that yet. Even typing this out, I've started shaking with nerves about it. What do I do now? I've never felt unsafe in my house before at all, but I also don't know if I'm comfortable being around my parents now that I know that they're literally pretending my mom is me. I'm so grossed out, and I think I want to burn every piece of clothing that I've ever owned. Then OP adds in an edit. I really didn't want to write anything erotic about my parents here, but since it's been suggested that they might not have been about to do it a couple of times over messages, here goes. The top portion of my mom's dress was pulled down, and they were doing stuff. If they weren't about to do it, they were at least being sexual. Then, 4 days later, OP posted an update. Several people on my initial post advised that I should speak with a therapist before seeing or speaking with either of my parents. I called one that I'd seen a few times in the past, and she was able to book me in for an emergency session, and she really helped me work through what I saw, as well as my worries, and constructing a list of questions to ask my mom when I spoke with her. I met with my mother over the weekend. We met at this park near our house in the afternoon, and we sat away from everyone else. My friend who I was staying with and her boyfriend went with me for moral support, but they hung back and let me talk to my mother alone. I'm not going to go through our entire conversation because we talked for over an hour, but it was pretty much what I'd feared. My mom was role-playing as me when I walked in on her and dad. She wouldn't confirm how long it had been going on, but gave me a list of several pieces of my clothing, 3 dresses, then 2 of my sleep sets, which she had previously borrowed. She claims they were cleaned thoroughly before returning them. And I have no reason to believe that she wouldn't have cleaned them, but I'm not going to wear any of these things again, regardless. It was probably stupid of me, but I asked which one of them came up with the idea for her to roleplay as me, and according to my mom, it was her idea. I still really don't feel comfortable seeing or talking to my dad, and he hasn't reached out to me since I walked in on them either. So I guess he isn't comfortable talking to me about it either. My dad was at work when I spoke to my mom. I made sure of that because I wanted to be able to go to my house and get a few more of my things. She let me go there myself with my friends to get the things I needed before she went back to her place afterwards. I'm still working on where I go from here. I ended up having to fully explain the situation to my friend's parents. They were both extremely understanding and are willing to let me rent their spare bedroom for a few months while I figure something else out. I'm working on getting more hours at work too. So I clicked on OP's account, and I'm not really sure how much of this I can share because things get a little spicy. I'll read a couple of titles. OP made a post with the title, "I gave oral pleasure in a parking lot after meeting someone at the Toronto Indie Race." Then she made a post where she says that she stopped wearing panties whenever she wears dresses. And then she posted another update about her living situation, which I'll read now. It's been 3 months. I can't really sleep well because I've just had nightmares about walking in on my parents role-playing as me, and I'm tired all the time. I've been working with my therapist through this, and she's gotten me onto some relaxation techniques that help. As far as my living situation goes, I'll be moving into my own bedroom in an apartment with 2 of my coworkers this September. Living with my friend isn't working out the best. I mentioned earlier that her dad was pretty clearly eye-fucking me whenever he was around. He's pushed things a decent bit further since, and started getting grabby with me when he can get me alone. I've developed this really bad hypersexuality thing for some reason since all this stuff happened with my parents. Yeah, I'm in therapy, and yeah, I'm working on it. But as a result of that, for some reason, I do absolutely nothing to stop my friend's dad whenever he grabs at me. It's sick, but I know on some level I like the attention. I've been avoiding being around the house as much as possible because I know in the back of my head I'm just not going to say no to him. Work's been giving me plenty of extra hours, and I've been saving as much money as possible while also slowly buying myself new clothing. Then OP posts another update, and man, this is kind of going downhill here. I'm sure you can tell where this is headed. My friend's dad banged me. He found out that I'm moving out of their house at the end of the month, and he took the first opportunity that he had to push things further than he had been going before. I was in their den area playing with their 2 cats when he came downstairs. I knew immediately what he had in mind because he just had that look about him. His standard move is coming up behind me and grabbing my butt before reaching around to my chest. I guess he just made his decision to go further when he came down because he skipped that entirely and just pulled my shirt off and then did something that I can't say on YouTube. Ooh, I can't read that sentence either. He told me that he was sad to hear that I'm not going to be around the house much longer. He told me that I'm fun and that he likes having me here. Of course he does. I feel so bad for his wife. Oh wow, I really can't read that sentence. That was the point where I went from being a deer in headlights to an active participant. I couldn't make myself say no. Probably shouldn't read that sentence either. Can't read that sentence. Whoa, this is getting really spicy. OP says, it was just the heat of the situation doing it to me. I thought back, and it's not like he did anything special otherwise. From there, he led me to their master bedroom, and we did it on his wife's bed. My friend and her mom were gone until the evening. He and I spent pretty much the entire afternoon doing it. What's weird about the whole thing is he's actually really sweet. He's nice to me, and other than the groping, he asks for consent before he does anything to me. The problem is, I kept giving him consent. Every time he asked to do something else, I was screaming at myself mentally to turn him down, to say no, to leave. But every time, I found myself nodding with a smile, making eyes at him and letting him do whatever he wants to me. Ooh, not gonna read that sentence. It didn't end after my friend and her mom came home either. It's like the game is on or something for both of us. Whenever we can find time alone, we're all over each other. It's horrible. Ooh, can't read that sentence. My friend's given me no reason to hurt her. In fact, his wife is one of the nicest people I've met and is so supportive of me. None of that stopped me though. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't read that sentence. Oh, that's the worst one. Bruh. Okay, so guys, oh geez, I really wish I could read this, but YouTube will not let me. So I'm not gonna read the first half of the sentence, but the second half of the sentence ends with, while looking at the pictures of their family on the wall across the room. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life moving forward, or how I'm going to handle the situation. I'm sure that I've thoroughly nuked my life. It's just a matter of time when it all goes off. Then OP posts another update where she says that she moved out of the house. Then OP posted another update. Basically, OP decided that she's going to come clean to her friend. I still ended up sleeping in my friend's house for a couple of more days after deciding I was going to figure out a way how to tell her and or her mom about what had happened between her, me, and her dad. I was only there for 2 nights, and her dad found an excuse to hook up with me on the second night. It wasn't sweet or even caring. It was just mechanical at that point. Ooh, I cannot read that sentence. I'm disgusted with myself. He left immediately after because his wife was in their room. I cried a lot and started writing a letter to my friend and her mom. I've talked with my therapist about everything. We've gone over everything during 2 sessions, and I'm in a lot better mental state now, as far as knowing that I'm not necessarily a horrible person for not being able to turn someone down who had power over me. My therapist doesn't think that it's a good idea for me to tell my friend what happened though. So instead of writing a letter to my friend, I wrote it to her mom. I gave the letter to my friend's mom on Thursday. I just went over when I knew that she'd be around, and I told her that I needed to talk to her. I sat there while she read the letter that I wrote, shaking the whole time. I just wanted to get up and run. My therapist told me that her reaction might not be what I expected it to be, and she was correct. My friend's mom didn't cry, she didn't yell, she just asked me to show her the text messages on my phone. I don't think that she really believed me until then, because after she saw the messages, she called me an effing whore and told me to never come back to her house or around her family. I don't think she's told my friend, because my friend is still reaching out to make sure that I'm alright after moving out of her place, and I'm not really telling her what's going on with me. I'm completely blowing her off. It feels fake to maintain a relationship with her now, given what's happened. But I also know that that's cruel of me, that I should give her an explanation of some sort. As far as my parents go, they literally haven't said a single thing to me since I told my mom to stay away. I kind of expected something, but they're respecting my request by not reaching out. Then, OP posts another update under the title, "I've been working as a topless maid for extra cash." She writes, "I've done 3 appointments so far. They all pay really well. It's cleaning nice condos for people. The guys just sit there and watch. There's no touching or anything, but I do make a show of cleaning the area immediately around them. I was surprised to learn that I actually have to clean though, lol. I did someone's kitchen last week, and the oven was a pain. This last update was over a year ago, and there's nothing since. So I guess that's the end of this saga, and wow, it's crazy to think that just one chance encounter can cause someone's life to just completely go off the rails. It sounds like OP was correct that incident caused her to become hypersexual for some reason. I guess it's coping, and she just started being, I don't know how to say this. She just started being really, really, really sexual at every opportunity, and it seems like it's completely changed her life. It's so weird to think that if she just hadn't walked in on her parents, she'd probably be just, completely different. Also, in the comments of the topless maid post, she writes, "I'm enjoying it overall quite a bit, actually. I like the attention and being looked at." Well, I guess I'll end it there. I wish OP the best of luck. This post got darker and more YouTube inappropriate as it went on, so it's kind of hard to talk about. Our next Reddit post comes from r/polyamory. "I'm 15 weeks pregnant with our poly family's second baby, and here I am thinking of running away from the family that we've created. I've been married for 9 years. Me and my husband have been doing this polyamory thing for 4 years now. This started when my husband confessed to having feelings for one of our mutual friends. He really sold me on the idea of a poly triad, and we started living together. My family disapproved and stopped visiting us. That hurt, but things were okay. I did struggle with some jealousy issues, although I told my husband that I was open to dating someone new and bringing the new person into our fold. In reality, I wasn't ready at all. The guys I liked quickly distanced themselves romantically as soon as they heard that I was a married female in a non-monogamous relationship. It was hard. As for the guys who were okay with my situation and who pursued me, I wasn't attracted to them. Things changed in 2017 when my husband's girlfriend became pregnant with my husband's first child. I love the kid, I really do. She calls me Maman and loves me a lot. Right around the same time, my company promoted me. I went from working 4 hours a day to essentially living 4 months out of my state. I immersed myself in my work, and in 2019, my husband talked about me and him having a baby to complete the family. Fast forward to June 2020. I find out that I'm pregnant and that we're having a boy. We had a big gender reveal and everything. The kiddo knows that she's getting a baby brother. I'm currently 15 weeks along, and 2 nights ago, my company offered me a permanent position in the new city. Because of COVID, they had to lay off many people, and they now need more people in leadership roles. From a career standpoint, it would be foolish of me if I let go of this opportunity. But if I do that, it would break my family apart. Right now, my husband and his girlfriend are working on the baby room, and I'm here conflicted. I'm really tempted to take up this job offer and run away from the life that we've created. I am also secretly contemplating abortion. My friend thinks that I should take up the offer. He thinks that I'm unhappy with my life and that a change would do me good. I would be working with him if I take up the offer. I have friends in the city, so I know that I wouldn't be alone. I'm really stressed out thinking about it. What do I do? Then, 3 days later, OP posted an update. Last night, I accepted the job offer, and I'm getting an abortion next week. My friend is helping me every step of the way. I'll be filing for divorce in a week or 2. I've had great years with my poly family and my husband, and now it's time for me to make the jump and dive into the unknown. Thanks to all the people who sent me supportive messages and helped me make my decision. And yeah, I did talk to a therapist via Zoom. That session helped me clear my head in a way that I hadn't felt before. And no, I haven't talked to my husband. I'll talk to him after I actually get the abortion procedure done. Then, a couple of weeks later, OP posted an update. I did get an abortion last week. I finally told my husband 4 days later. I'd never seen him so broken. It broke my heart to see him cry, but I had to do it. His girlfriend hugged me, her kiddo hugged me, and bid me goodbye. My husband refused to talk to me. I'm waiting for him to reach out. I'm giving him space right now. I'm at peace, and I don't regret my decision. With this, I'm bidding my poly lifestyle a final goodbye. Our top comment comes from Lady Yenta. My ex-husband did something similar to this. He claimed he was always poly, but had suppressed it to be with me. That he was too much of a man to be satisfied with having only one woman. Then, in the next breath, he told me about a girl that he met online, who was 10 years younger than him, who would be going on a date with him later that week. That's just cheating with extra steps, my guy. That was r/Best of Redditor updates, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.